Hello real world spectators, my name is Rain and welcome to another video log of my life on the Isekai realm. This is video log number 16 and today we will be working on building the machine that brings Zombie Steve back to life. Yep, that's right, finally we get to do that. If you recall, this is the area that I have 2 mob farms at, and this is the place where I store all my books. You know, all the books that I found in that weird shifting subconscious language. And over here is the experimental facility where I had some prisoners, some pillager patrol captains that I used last video log in order to trigger some raids. And I'm not sure if any of you noticed, but I had to put a new door there because the deviant zombie that I trapped in here, as you may have seen in a previous video log, has escaped. It broke the iron door down and I had to replace it. Not to worry too much though, because I do have a zombie spawner here, and then maybe I can get a deviant zombie from that hopefully, and then I'll be placing him at the top there where I will be building out of all of these iron blocks the machine that brings Zombie Steve back to life. And of course, I do have a book with instructions written down by LPT5 on how to do so. When it comes to the location of where I want to build this machine, I decided that I want to build it right up here because it's a little bit elevated and away from mobs that explode. You know, the book said I only have 1 chance at doing this and I want to be very careful. Alright, so inside is where we built to keep all of the books that we find in this world that are in this weird shifting subconscious language, and this one here is exactly the one that we need. This one has the instructions on how to build the machine. This is the last book in this language that I found in this world, and so we'll be working on this and try to follow the instructions carefully based on how much I can actually read it. If anything, I might be asking villagers how to read some of it so that I don't make any mistakes while building the machine. So let's not waste any more time and get to building. Alright, so we need to mark out a center point here and start outlining the base of what's basically a containment module for the zombie to be kept safely inside. Of course, that being said, it's actually a deviant zombie that I need for this experiment to actually work. Alright, this is what the base of it will look like, more or less, I believe. I'm not sure if I'm reading it properly, but it does look a bit symmetrical and it looks like it sort of makes sense at this point. So if I just check this book a bit, oh, okay, yeah, seems to be going correctly. Alright, let me just put these around here like that. Most of the material will be made out of iron because it's supposed to, you know, conduct electricity, because we will need to be harnessing the power of lightning for this. That being said, we also need some parts made out of glass, as you can see here, because if we use the iron doors, the deviant zombie will just break it down. And the zombie that breaks down iron doors violates the laws of this world. Alright, there we go. That looks more or less like how it's supposed to be. I think I made a couple mistakes, but I'm going to fix it very soon. But this right here is the general size of it. It's not that very big. It's small. I still have some stuff that I need to add inside, like right here. This had to be glass. It had to be separate from the actual iron there. Remember, I had a base here. So what we need to do now is add some high power light sources here. So what I did was I brought some N-rods here with me because they have the highest source of light output in this world, and it will work greatly with this design. Alright, well, some time has passed already, and what I needed to do was go to the villagers to help me translate the subconscious language so that I can get all the instructions correctly. Turns out I had to make many major changes. And this is the final product here. As you can see here though, in order to keep the place safe, I fixed the lighting in this area. So if you see many carpets right here, it's because underneath these carpets we have sea lanterns, the same technique I used when lighting up the villages. Also, you can see grass all over the place, so I sort of terraformed the area a bit to have a more station in the woods kind of experimental facility feel. A little bit overgrown with all the grass, but see, look at that. I'm quite satisfied with the product in the end. It does look a bit cool as well. So what I also did was extend this building here. So as you can see on the sides, it's a bit extended because the initial size of the roof was too small to build the machine properly at the top of it. Having made the building bigger, I also went ahead and fixed the inside of this place. We have shulker boxes for all the storage of enchanted books here. We also have bookshelves going all around, and then we have these lecterns here with the books that I found in this world that are in subconscious, and of course this gigantic map of the region that I have claimed. So this right here is the area where I have the machine built, as you can see, and up here is the mining outpost that I started out And that is the Plains village that I actually built and expanded. It looks really nice in the scope of this entire map here. And right here is where I'm building the castle, which is not very far from everything around here. So this region is the region that I've claimed, and all the way up here on this side here, actually, we have the Guardian farm that I built earlier in one of my video logs. Alright, so let's go up one of these ladders here and see the completed machine and what it looks like. This is a very simple containment cell for the deviant zombie that I'll be putting in here, so I have to get one yet. But I'll figure out how to get one of those another time. Inside, it's not very big, but it's basically where the zombie will be sitting. And as you can see, one of the changes I had to make was to completely detach this containment cell from the roof itself. So basically, this entire capsule here is hovering over the build but being held together by the glass. This is so because whenever the zombie is struck by lightning, we don't want the rooftop of this building to catch fire. Alright, well, now we're done with building the machine that we'll be using to bring Zombie Steve back to life, right? But unfortunately, we won't be doing that experiment in this video log because I still have to get myself one of those deviant zombies. It's already night, so I'll probably wait until nighttime to get one of them, or I can try to get one from the zombie farm that I have behind me. But for now, I want to move on to other things, so let's see what else we can do on the realm. So now I'm back on Spawn Island, and I'm just remembering that last video log I wanted to fix the inside of the merchant airship, but I didn't get the opportunity to do that, so I do have some footage of me working on the inside of it, and that's what I'm going to be showing you here while I work behind the scenes on some other projects. So let's get to it. Well guys, after being distracted by death and losing all my items and trying to get it back, we can finally start working on the ship. So I'll show you this map here. Right now we have a little bit of a difference on the island itself. We have this giant yellow thing that you see right here, and also all around it is actually land that I terraformed to accommodate that new shop that has opened there, that was opened by Loki Buns, right? So we're going by to check it out right now because I haven't actually gone inside since it was completed. See, I terraformed this entire area, and I decided not to make the entire area land. As you can see, I have a little pond here, which hopefully I can build a bridge across like that. Hopefully I get the time for that as well. Let's go inside of this Pac-Man shaped shop here and see what it's all about. Let's take a flight first and see from above. It definitely looks like a 3D Pac-Man head. Let's see. Let's go inside. Okay, here's the entrance. This shop is called Gobble My Cobble. So I'm assuming it sells cobblestone materials. Let's see. All right. Well, not looking so bad. Let's see what it has. So we have some mossy cobblestone in here for sale, which is great. And I actually came prepared because I heard Loki Buns is selling cobblestone here, the mossy cobblestone, and I need to buy these in order to further decorate the buildings and also the walls of my Plains village so that it looks a little bit more textured. So I'm glad he opened this shop. I'm back in the airship, the merchant airship, and I'm trying to finish the rooftop of this that I had planned to fix up with gray concrete. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to finish the inside. Everything is going according to plan. We already fill in all the areas. We do have a little bit of areas that are left to fill in, and I'm not sure how to fill in that white wool area if I need to fill it in at all, but I think I'm going to change some of the blocks right there and build something in this area like a food stall or something in the center, I guess. I'm not sure. This ship has a very irregular shape, so we don't really have corners to work with. But let's work on a food stall first. So a quick trip to the nether to get some nether quartz ore, and then we can get to building. I decided to use this flat surface area here to build it. I'm thinking of building like a cube right here, so I'll be using this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's okay. I'll start from there. So this, I'll be marking out the area that will have the wall at the back and come forth to make somewhat like a cube. Well, it turned out a bit rectangular, so not cube. It's going to be a cuboid. And this is the shape that I'm going for. It looks like someone can be back here selling food to whoever wants to buy. So it's somewhat like a little kiosk or whatever you call it. I'll be filling it in with appliances and, you know, equipment that you use when you have a kitchen. So it will be like a little kitchen right here that sells and prepares food. Something this structure will definitely need is a little ledge area like this, and that's the reason I got the quartz, so that I can use it for stairs, since we can't make like concrete stairs or anything like that. And it also gives it a little bit of definition as well, so maybe we can open an entrance here. Then at the top, we can have a little overhang using some quartz slabs like this. That way we have a little bit of dimension to this build. And I think it does suit it quite well for the opening where we will have the serving station. And I'll have to fill up here with some quartz slabs. I already run out, so I'm going to get a little bit more. And the good thing about slabs is that they allow light to pass through. So I'll be able to put some lights above the roof before I even close it off completely. And we will have a decently lit area in here to prevent mobs from spawning. Alright, now it's time to adding the equipment. As you can see, I have a little refrigerator over there using a door and some quartz blocks. I'll be setting this down. It's a smoker. And these two cauldrons can be used as sinks, so I can get some water inside of them, and hopefully I can get a little tap there as well. I'll be using this tripwire hook here. As the tap, it does pass off as a tap. Whoops, let me put that back. Maybe we can use a detector rail at the top to look like a burner. I don't think that works. I don't really like how that looks. Maybe it will look better if I replace it with a pressure plate. Yeah, that does look better. I'll keep that there instead. What I want to do next is to add some trapdoors at the top and at the bottom of this, just like that, so that it can be closed like this whenever there is no stock remaining inside of this food vending area. Now to add in the storage that we will need in order for people to come and put in their food products for sale. So we will be using barrels in this case because they look a bit like a cupboard or a cabinet area. All you need to do as a member is to claim one of them and rename it, and adding in the description of the barrel, the type of food you're selling, and also the price. Okay, I decided I'm going to remove these from here, at least the bottom half of it, because it's blocking the view from it's blocking the view of the stuff in the kitchen, and I don't really like it. I want everything to be seen, so I'm only going to be leaving the top part of it that way. Next on the list of things to do is to create a block that I've never created since I came into this world, and that's the loom. This is a block that's basically responsible for making banners. I really want to make some banners to put on the food area, and I've never used it before, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge for me. Hopefully it's easy to use. Okay, so the first thing I want to work on is the letter D. We're going to spell the word food out, and I want to start with the letter D and see if I can do this. So far while working with this, I noticed one major difference, and that's that it's very easy to choose whatever pattern you want to use for your banners. And also it uses much less dyes than it did before when you used to use the crafting table to create these banners, which is very good. It makes things easier and also saves on using too many of your resources. Alright, we have the first letter here, and this is the letter D. So what I'll be working on now is the other letters, and I'll get back to you when that's done. Okay, now this should be the last one. F. Let's place it here, and there we go. Food. Of course, the food area has a center point, and these four letters don't really fit in well there, so I'll have to probably make an exclamation mark to add at the end. And this is what it looks like. I think it turned out pretty well, and the location I decided to put it fits in with the build. And this is everything completed inside of the kitchen area. I decided to add in a blast furnace there to keep it filled and, you know, like a complete kitchen. I'll be decorating it a bit more later. What I need to do next though is fix the lighting in this place, because all of these torches are very annoying to look at on the floor in front of the kiosk. So I'll be opening an area here, and I'll also be putting a sea lantern inside, basically using the same technique I usually use for outside in the lawn area with the grass. Adding a sea lantern and then a carpet on top, and I'll be using a gray one so that it sort of blends in with the floor of this airship. Of course, it's not the best looking thing and it's not very incognito, but it definitely looks better than having all of these torches spammed all over the place like this. Alright, so I did all the lighting I could possibly do inside of this place, and as you can see, I have end rods all over the place as well to use as fluorescent lights. I had to experiment a bit carefully to not obstruct the mood of this airship. It looks a little bit concrete and cold, so I didn't want to use warm lighting, so that's the reason why I went ahead with these end rods. Notice that I also have another section here that's called sail. Well, this section will be used as sort of like the cheap flea market area where anybody can sell anything they want. They just have to rename the chests and then they put in whatever they want to sell, and it's to sell something very temporary and cheap. If you really want to get rid of some items that you have on you, you can sell it for very cheap right here. And it's very temporary. Like I said before, I will have a section just for stuff that people want to sell continuously. And in this case, I'm using it to temporarily sell some stacks of rockets in case anybody wants to buy any of these. Alright, so that's the footage of me working inside of the airship that didn't make it into the last video log because we ran out of time. And since then, I added a few more things here. As you can see here, we have some modules here that I opted for in order for anyone to sell anything that they want for an extended period of time. I know it's very small and simple. I added to both sides. I also put back all the chests where Roskatron was selling his wool and other items. I also have some chests here where I'm selling some items as well, and I'm selling totems of undying. As you can see, I already sold some, so I'm going to get those. I'm selling rockets as well for 2 diamonds a stack. That's really cheap. It looks like it's been selling out, so I have to come back and restock it when I get the opportunity. We have in here one person already selling food. I believe it's Loki Buns selling pork chops. I'm going to get some of that right now because I'm almost out. 2 diamonds per stack, that's not bad. And let's see what else. I could probably get a stack of dried kelp blocks as well because I need to smelt some more of those nether rocks in order to get nether bricks so that I can start working on my castle. I really want to start working on that next, guys. As you may know, I have already started, but I want to finish it in this video log. Before I do, I just have to restock my rockets quickly right here because it seems to be selling out quickly. And also for the totems of undying, and then we can go ahead and start the castle. Now that we're done with the inside of the merchant airship, and we've also built the machine that will bring Zombie Steve back to life, we can move to another big project here, the biggest project, which is our base, which will be a Japanese castle, which I left half built right here. So what I want to work on and finish off in this video log is the completed main structure of the castle. And of course, we're going to do this in a super fast time lapse, and this roof will cover the final floor that's on this build. So it's the highest point of this castle, which as you can see reaches high enough for it to pierce the clouds. And of course, I'm going to be using a lot of stairs and a lot of slabs for this so that it can have the shape that I'm looking for. Alright, now let's take a flight and see what it looks like from higher up. And away, let's see. Alright, that looks quite nice. You can see the 2 little crescent moons that we have there that are very much present in the actual architecture of Himeji Castle in Japan. And what I did was I used a bit of techniques that I already knew about from some other people to apply to this build so that I can get the desired effect within this Japanese architectural build. Now what I also need to do now is to make some window space in these very plain walls, just like I did in the floors below, so that I can fill in with the trapdoors, the same trapdoors like I did here, so that we can have a consistent design. Looks like pillager patrols are starting to show up again, guys. All I came here for was to get some more resources so that I can continue building the castle. And then they just showed up. It's been a while since I've seen any of them. Oop, this is getting a little bit messy here. Let me just capture them in boats. Let's see if I can get to... Oh, so many mobs. Okay, there we go. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be too surprised if I find out that many more of them come around because I've already started building the machine to bring Zombie Steve back to life. As the sun rises over the east and we start a brand new 12-minute day here on the Isekai realm, we get to work on finishing this project that I've been working on for some time now, and I got all the resources that I need in order to do that. A lot of dark oak logs with a lot of spruce and a lot of everything basically. And also, like I mentioned before, we have some pillagers down here from a pillager patrol that just came snooping around. I just figured they would be coming around ever since that first time I started building that machine. But anyway, let's get to building our castle. It's going to be a great project. And what I want to do is start with a bit of detailing on the windows that I already started. So basically I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the floors below, and also add some more details using some dark oak fences at the top. That way it doesn't look too simple and too plain. Just like that. Let me just add the rest here. Basically just going straight across like this. And also I'm going to be adding in the floors so that we can have a separation for the different stories that we have here. So each level will have its own floor. And over here, what I did was mix in some regular nether brick so that it can have a little bit of distinction between both, just like I did with the bottom parts of the roofing. I think it goes quite well with the red nether brick that I used for the actual roof itself. So I'll be using both of these blocks a lot on the build because it's the palette that I chose for this particular project. What I need to do next is, in order to make this look a little more intricate and not too simple and flat, we'll be doing some A-frames, or basically some arches on the edges of these roofs. So I'm going to break off some pieces and add some A-frames in there to see what it will look like, and for it to look close to the actual architecture of the castle that I'm basing it on. And of course I'm going to be using a lot of these red nether brick stairs for that. So let's get to work on that now, shall we? The first thing I need to do in order to get this particular thing done is to find the center point of this roof here, which is right here, and remove some of these slabs from here, and then from that point extend out using the same type of slabs all the way to the end of the roof. So it won't really be an A-frame because it won't be sharp enough to actually look like an A. But basically what we want to do is just somewhat of a little arch, and that's the top of it right there. And then in order to bring it down from there, we're going to be removing some of these and then adding some stairs. So at least 3 levels of stairs going downward like this I will be placing. And then it should look like this, which isn't too bad. It does have a flat top, but that's the intent for this particular one because it's a very small one, as you can see from this perspective here. And at this point I'm going to be filling it in with some details that are my own design. So let's just fill in this wall here with some spruce like we have for all the walls. And then after that, I'm going to be adding in the trapdoors for the windows to keep it consistent as usual. And then add in more of these nether brick stairs on the edges so that it suits the rest of the roofing. Alright, so a little detail that I decided to go for is to open a giant window here, and I want to use some glass, but I'm not sure which to use, the light gray or the gray. But now that I've put it here, I'm realizing that the light gray clashes a lot with the red of the roofing. So what I'm going to do is use this regular gray here for the windows, then look at it from a distance and see what it looks like. Okay, there we go. Look at this arch. It goes seamlessly with the rest of the roofing. And also, yes, the gray looks good. So what I'm going to do is use this same gray here for the small long windows we have here of the sides of the highest roof in this build. Alright, so what I did was I went ahead and added more arches to the front of this castle. As you can see, I have 1, 2, 3 of these very A-shaped looking ones, and at the top I have one that's very similar to this one at the bottom. And also I added glass windows on either side of the 3rd floor, and as you can see, I also added some lights in there for extra added effect, and I think it looks good. Alright, so I need to build another A-frame. This one is actually going to be a large A-frame starting from about here going upwards and then coming downwards. So one of the first things that I need to do is gather the resources that we can start by marking out the area, finding the center point first, and then using stairs to have a gradual decline down to either of the edges of these roofs. As I climb up this scaffolding, you can get a better view of the very big A-frame that I have here, and I also added a small one at the top so that it doesn't look too linear at the top where the A-frame starts. So yeah, that's it for that, I guess. So what I'll need to do next behind the scenes though is actually fix the roof on this side as well. So I have to do it at the back and also make a giant A-frame on the other side of the build over this side here to match the other side that I just built. So what I'll be building next is actually the other half of the building. It's actually a smaller area, because what we've built so far is actually the main castle. So what we need is to build the area that will house the entrance to this castle here. And this opening here will actually be leading inside of it. And what I'll be using is this area here to fill in with the small building that will actually be the entrance to the main castle. Now enter super fast build mode, and as you can see, the first thing that I'm starting with is a small section where I can bridge the gap between the two buildings that I'll be having, the main castle building and also the smaller area that will have the entrance and whatever portal I want to have inside. So more or less like a portal room leading into the nether from this section here. And as you can see from the size of the floor that I already had set down, that's the general size of the build that will be on this section of the castle. So basically this would be somewhat like a reception area that would lead inside to the castle. So now what I need to do is extend downward the entire base to be just as the main castle, since everything in this build is quite elevated from the ground. At this point I start working on the roof, but I will skip that altogether. Why? That's because it will take a lot of time, a lot more time than you think. So instead of trying to speed build this, what I'm going to do next is just take my time to work on it carefully. But just to give you an idea of what I need to do is this entire area needs a roof that's similar to the one at the very top of the main castle, right? So let's take a quick flight so that I can show you. So right there, the roof will be similar to that one there, except it won't have the little crescent moons at the top. So that's basically what I need to build, and that really takes a lot of time. So that's what I'm going to work on now, and then I'll get back to you once I'm done with that. Well, it did take a lot of time and resources, but I'm finally done with this castle build here. This is my base that I won't move into yet, but let's get closer so that we can have a better view of it. Let me just place these blocks. Alright, there we go. This is the completed project right here. Of course, there's a lot of detailing that I need to do, but wow, yes, I'm done. Time to celebrate. Maybe, yes, no, I don't know. But yes, like I said before, we have to detail inside and a little bit more outside as well. This is a very tall build. It looks really nice. It's definitely what I envision it to be, especially with the black palette that I chose in the end. We'll eventually have to make a bridge to go across, because this at the bottom is basically made for a moat. You know, castles usually have those for like security. And if we come in here, this is where the entrance starts. So from this point, I'll be making a bridge going all the way across. And as you can see, this is a very tall entrance. We have this section here at the base of the main castle. It's very big, but I'll be using this space for eventually making an automatic storage system. And this room, I think I'll be using for a portal room that leads to the Guardian Farm drop-off point inside of the nether. So for now, what I can do is basically mark out an area where the portal will be placed. So maybe right here where it's centered, and then I'll be working on that in another video log. And from here we go up to the second floor of this entrance area, and it does have a lot of space, so I can work with something interesting in here. And this path leads into the main castle as intended, which is very big, and I already have the floors here that I had set out for the different areas. I have absolutely no idea what I'll be building inside of the main castle, but I'll figure it out as I go along. Hopefully after we work on bringing Steve back to life, we can start working on the detailing on the outside and also some on the inside of the castle. I'm glad we're done with this. We got it done, like the main part of the project, in this one video log instead of splitting it into too many of them. And having done so, this is a time to rejoice, because this frees up time for us to work on many other projects, especially since I have a lot in mind. Whoop, didn't mean to do that, but yeah, everything is going all well. I think that is enough for this video log here. So it's time for me to head back to my mining outpost, and unfortunately that's all the time that I have for this video log here. We've done a lot in this episode here, a lot of building, a lot of work. The next time that you see me, we'll probably be working on bringing Steve back to life using the book left behind by LPT5, the one that we retrieved from the Pillagers outpost a while back. So yes, you can look forward to that. That's definitely something I myself am looking forward to in the next video log. Alright guys, time to go. Bye. So yeah, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. There's a lot left to look forward to, guys. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you around. Oh yeah, there's one thing I want to address before I leave, is that this right here, this Colosseum project that uses a lot of nether quartz, It's very expensive and time consuming, so I'll be putting it on the back burner while we gather more resources. Hey look, it's the frozen ocean. This is Raskatron's domain, right? I haven't been here in a while, so I am not sure what's going on. I heard he was working on his base. It's somewhere around here. Okay, oh okay, there it is. It's right in front of me. Wow, this is turning out quite well. I think in one of the next video logs, what I'm going to do is help him out a bit because he asked me about terraforming the entire area to accommodate his build.